all, I, on behalf of the NAGA Scholars Association, take this wonderful opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to a special talk on community sustainable development. How giving back to communities. This is a very important, issue which we as a scholars need to have a better understanding. And this afternoon we are extremely privileged to have Professor Murari, who will be delivering today's special talk. Well, before we start the program, let me give a brief introduction about Professor Murari. Well, Professor Murari Suvedi is a professor in the Department of Community Sustainability in College of Agriculture and Natural Resources in Michigan State University. He's a well-known professor across the globe for his outstanding contributions in the field of academics, and he is also a visiting professor in many top universities across the globe. And also, he is a winner of several international awards for his outstanding contributions in the field of academics. And he is also the author of many books and many articles. To cut it short, he's very well known for his some of his books and also his articles. And well, he is actively engaged in international agriculture and extension education, and he has developed and coordinated in Michigan State University's semester-long study abroad programs in Nepal and Thailand, facilitated the partnership between Michigan State University and Tokyo University of Agriculture, Japan, and served as a Fulbright senior U.S. scholar in Nepal. And right now he is one of senior Fulbright scholar here in Delhi. He's right now at Nehru for time being. And basically, Professor Murari is from Nepal. And the work that he has done for his communities, in spite of being now a U.S. citizen, living in the USA, is remarkable. And today he will be, in fact, the special talk will be a special reference to what he has been doing, in Nepal. How, we can contribute as academicians and scholars, in spite of wherever we may be settled. So, thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation to come and give a special talk in the NAGA Scholars Association. Let us all give him a welcome. Thank you once again, sir. And we are also very much privileged to have Professor PVK Sasidhar to chair today's session. Professor Sasidhar was the director of School of Extension and Development Studies in Indira National University. He has attended his PhD in veterinary extension from Acharya N.G. Rama Agricultural University in Hyderabad. He was a postdoctoral research fellow at NARM Hyderabad from 2002 to 3, Norman Borlaug Fellowship in USA DA at I don't know how this University in the USA, and fellow at Michigan State University, USA, 2015. He has been a research fellow at different universities across the globe, including Australia, USA, Bangladesh, UAE, Colombia, and so forth. And he has been in the editorial reports of Journal of Agricultural Extension Management, Indian Journal of Laboratory Science, and he has more than 200 research papers, including several articles and books. And well, his research interest gathers primarily on evaluation of extension, advisory services, veterinary service delivery, and improving veterinary education. He has received 4 Young Scientists Award and Norman Borlaug International Agricultural Science and Technology Fellow Award of USAID. And recently he has completed 2 major projects sponsored by USAID, funded of course project from with Michigan State University. So we are very thankful to Professor Sasidhar for accepting our invitation to come and share today's session. Let us all give him welcome with a round of applause. Well, as a token of our love and appreciation, NSA has nothing to give, but just as to remember us, we would like to hand over first of all to Professor Murari. I would like to request one of our executive members to kindly come forward and present him with a small gift. Since you are from a very cold region, we would like to present you a balance shot. And we have a small gift for Professor Sasidhar. Yeah. And I'm not waiting to help you remember that we carry you in our hearts. Well, we are also very privileged to have Mrs. Suvedi. She's here. Thank you very much, ma'am, for coming and giving us your kind presence. And we are also extremely privileged to have Professor Faruqi from IGNU. Yeah, thank you very much. So, without wasting much time, now I give the rest of the time to our Chairperson, Professor Sasidhar, to kindly take it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Anthan. Dr. Anthan, the President, NAGA Scholars Association, Professor Murari Suvedi from Michigan State University, Mrs. Suvedi, my colleagues from IGNU, Gandhi College, faculty from JNU and other colleges, and scholars of NAGA Scholars Association. A warm welcome and good afternoon to all of you. Professor Suvedi is in Delhi and he is associated with Indira Gandhi National Open University as a Fulbright Regional Research Scholar. As a Fulbright Regional Research Scholar for about 9 months. He will be with IGNU for about 5 months and 2 months in Sri Lanka and 2 months in Nepal. And the last month again in the month of May 2020, he will come back to IGNU and we will conclude the research work. At present, we are working on improving agricultural extension training in South Asia. This is one discipline among 17 disciplines of agriculture. So, Professor Suvedi's interest is to contribute improving the curriculum reforms, and how to improve the curriculum delivery mechanisms in South Asia, India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. Coming to today's talk, Professor Suvedi is a well-known researcher, extension professional, and international development worker associated with Michigan State University, and he worked with a number of countries, maybe around 45 countries across the globe. Apart from this, at personal level, he worked on 3 core issues of education, health, sanitation improvement, and other related areas of agriculture and development in his own country, Nepal, near the area of Pokhara. We have a number of lessons to draw from that to India and to South Asian countries. Then after seeing his work, Dr. Anthan requested that we can deliver a talk in NAGA Scholars Association. Maybe without wasting much time, we request Professor Suvedi, and at the end we can discuss more on the topics and what implications we can draw for the similar type of work replication in India and other parts of the world. May I request Professor Suvedi to start his talk.
Thank you. No, I think let me try without a mic.
Okay.
But keep it on just in case. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Murari Suvedi. as Professor Sasidhar introduced, I come from Michigan State University, state of Michigan, USA. I am a Fulbright regional scholar here in New Delhi. And I will be going to Sri Lanka and Nepal also as a Fulbright, senior scholar, research scholar. Today I will be talking about community engagement for sustainable development. What can you give back to your community? You all came, not all, most of us came from Northeast, am I right? Nagaland or nearby states. So, what have you been doing in your own state? Do you go back home? Do you bring back good development program for them? Do you help the people of your village, of your district, or of your state? I am a professor at Michigan State University. I teach, I do research, I do outreach. But I love my motherland. I return to Nepal periodically, try to help a community, and today, in the next 50 minutes, I will share you about 5 or 6 examples of what I did. If the pictures are good, you can see it. If you have questions, save it, write it. At the end, you can ask me. If you want to discuss a special program or project, yes, we can also do that. At the end of the talk, or Yanthan can coordinate, we can communicate again. Let me start. Today I will share 6 different development projects I helped organize in Nepal. Not one, 6 of them. They include from building secondary school to promoting environmental friendly agriculture. There are 6. Let me go one by one and yes. Can you see from the back? Can you read? Okay.
Right, too dark.
Okay. So, in order to keep the presentation simple and less academic, I will use mainly photographs. Okay? And I will make only few bullet points as a conclusion, as a reflection, and major lessons I learned will be shared at the end. Okay? Number 1 project is building an elementary school. Why it is significant? Because when I was visiting Nepal, the district education office approached me. They were talking, the elementary school was washed away. I happened to be in Nepal. As a teacher, I like to see the children go to school. Okay? So we raised some money. We were trying to build this school. And most of the work I do in Nepal is in the central part of Nepal in Kaski district. The map is shown there. If you can see, it is right in the middle mountain of Nepal. Beautiful area. Is Nagaland this beautiful?
Of course.
You miss the mountain, huh? I miss it. When I go to the peak, top of the mountain, I took this picture myself. So I love this. This is the village where I work. It is so beautiful now. If we go there, it is breathtaking. Annapurna range on the back. No cloud, no smog, no pollution, clean air, good water. And these were the teachers. Sometimes I bring them from Michigan school teachers to Nepal, and this teacher with this dress, blue dress here, actually her dress is red in my computer says red, but it shows blue. You know? She raised some money by collecting all these Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola bottles in Michigan. One bottle, once you buy a Coke, you have to deposit 10 cents. 10 cents. But if you have one case, 12 bottles, you have to deposit $1.20. What people do? They drink Coke and they throw it. The government started charging 10 cents. Then everybody will collect it and try to return it to the store. Any store you return, you get 10 cents each. She collected in the school all the Coke bottle, Pepsi bottle. She collected some money. She said, Professor Suvedi, on your name, build a school. Here is the money. She gave me a big check. So, look, here was an elementary school. This land, the same location had an elementary school. It was washed away by the landslide. Landslide, you have seen in Nagaland. And this was the school when I visited, elementary school. Right in the rice field, in the middle of a small rice field. I walked there, all the chairs were moved there. It was a school. They really needed a school. I said, okay, let us meet. I met with the education officers and local leaders. I said, we will help you some, but you have to help yourself. You have to find the land where we build the school. I said then, you have to organize the labor to put together some of the walls and some leveling, painting, cleaning, labor work. We have to come up. But we will be happy to fund the sand, cement, windows, rods, roof, all materials. So the construction began. Next month, the construction was progressing. It was going well. The school people, villagers, all people were busy. They inaugurated the school, including a toilet for the kids. They didn't want to build only the school, but sanitation is equally important. Probably this was the first elementary school having good toilets, in the whole district. And this looks this, that is school. This is just an elementary school, ready to be opened. It took 3 months to build this school. Yasoda is here. Our younger son, he was a 10th high school senior, 12th grade kid. He went and implemented all the construction. And the villagers appreciated him. They gave him all the flowers, gardens, He was happy. Now he is a Honda car maker, engineer. Now, number 2 project is a drinking water for communities. Building a school was simple. The people collaborated, participated, the villagers, village leaders, and the community people. Here is a second project I work on drinking water. This is the water hole they call Kua. They call Kua a well. During the dry season, all the springs in the top mountains, hill, they dry out. They dry up. People go downhill and downhill and downhill. This was the Kua level. Especially water is the responsibility of women in Nepal. Women have to carry the water. Men do not carry water. What happens in Nagaland? What do? Who carries the water?
Everyone carries now.
Both, yeah, both men and women.
Both men
Boys and girls, yes.
Men there are better. Good. Good men. But in Nepal, culturally, women were responsible. They go, they wash and they clean, and the same water they collect in these water pots, cup by cup, they fill up, and they carry it on the back. And they climb uphill 30 minutes or 45 minutes, sometimes 1 hour uphill. How many times they have to do it? Each family needs about 8 to 10 buckets of this water for one day. So she spends about 5 to 6 hours simply carrying water for the family. And the water in the bottom, there is no plenty abundance of water. It is trickling, drip by drip it collects. Sometimes they have to wait long time for the water to be accumulated. I was there visiting the village. My father was standing behind. He told me, let us go to the village. Next morning, all these women came, sat around the chairs, and they said, we need help. I said, how can we help? What is it? They say, we need water. For 6 months during the dry season, there is no water access to most of the households in the community. You are in America, you are a big professor, what can you do? I could not say yes, I will do, because it is premature to just say I will do it. I said, we will see. As we were talking, I said, by the way, you are all here, the women's group. Do you think your husbands will support this water initiative? They say, of course they will support. I also asked them, are you willing to pay the labor cost or contribute the labor for the construction of the pipelines or the collecting the sand, cement, carrying out the goods? They agreed. I said, let us discuss on a town hall meeting. So we had a town hall meeting, a community meeting. All the people gathered in a flat area, a volleyball ground. They sat down and we had a discussion. We agreed the village needs water, and I will see what we can do. Then the first task was to find out where is the source of water that we can bring as a drinking water, a clean water source. So we found a water source. During the dry month, there is about this much pipeline filled, about 2 inches of water available. I thought that is a good source, but the complication was the water was at the foothill on the bottom. We have to pump the water to station number 2, pump the water to station number 3, distribution gravity broke. Still there were houses on the top of the hill. We need to pump the water to the 4th station. So it required electricity, it requires major pumps, it requires a lot of engineering. I am simply a teacher. I was not sure whether I can help or not. Okay, what do you think? Do you have similar situation somewhere in some communities in Nagaland? During the dry season, there is no drinking water? Similar situation. So, I went back to Michigan. I met my friend Kurt Guter. I said, here is the situation. He said, okay, he will be happy to fly to Nepal and visit this. We did it. I walked with him. I met with these villagers. We started buying some pipes and pumps, distribution things. Local people were guarding all those supplies, and then we started digging the holes for electric poles because the village had no electricity. There was no excess of electric power. Without electric power, you cannot pump the water. So I requested the Ministry of Energy in Kathmandu, and through them they approved the electric power line. They provided that. The villagers did all the work, cutting the trees, digging the hole, and working as a labor, providing the labor, and constructing the pump house on a very mountainous slope. You know, there are rocks and others. It is not easy. These are different reservoirs, 1, 2, 3, 4 reservoirs to hold water, huge water reservoirs. Because from the bottom you have to pump station number 1, station number 2, station number 3, and 4 like that. So we did lot of engineering, construction work. All these polythene pipes were laid out, dig and develop a distribution mechanism. All these water taps, water stands have to be constructed. Local people did so much work, my friend. Finally, 7 schools and 240 households had water. Access to drinking water. It took about 3, how many years?
Maybe 3 to 4 years.
3 or even 4 years. It did not happen in 1 month. Raising money, buying pumps, connecting this, linking this approval and that approval. I did not give up, but the community and the school had water. They had water, my friends. Your people in Nagaland also can have water if you help them. Maybe they need some help from people like you who live in Delhi. And at the end, when we were visiting, by the way, all the village women, they think, oh, we are so happy now. We don't need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to collect water. You know, the water is right there. So they were giving us all garlands. And this old lady, I think she was in her 70s, she came up and gave me this rhododendron flower. I cannot see this. You know, my whole question is, this is different color. You can see because.
That was such a low, nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
We can imagine it, yeah.
See, it is imagining, but with this idea. This becomes like the Indian satellite going up and not reaching the moon. We organize everything. Anyway, there are problems of maintenance in this water system. Frequently there is no power, what do you call, backup. You know, that power. And then there is a voltage fluctuation that will burn the coil of this pump made by Kirloskar company of India. They make very strong pumps, but still they break down. So, except that frequent breakdown of pumps, local people did not have the knowledge to fix those pumps. If there is an electric problem, they don't know how to do it. All they know is don't touch the electric wire, you might die. So they didn't have the technical know-how. That was the major problem. Now, when this thing is going on, villagers were very happy with the water. You know, one thing with this water is little girls like her, parents started sending them to school. Because girls were usually engaged in carrying out the water, and they raise goats and sheep. They have to take care of the goats and sheep instead of going to school. So the culture changed. In this high school is the third project. High school is the third project. A professor at Tokyo University of Agriculture and myself. Look how young I was those days.
And very handsome as well.
And also handsome. Thank you. Thank you. We were working in the village in small scale agriculture. This is the village. Again, look at the mountain on the back. Who does not like to go and spend a night there? Everybody. If I say, hey, let us go, Shashi will go to. But he is resisting to. But people living in this village are not rich. They live in mediocre housing. You see the straw thatch house, and they keep the goats outside, but at night these goats will go inside because the tiger will come. If they keep outside, they will disappear. The goats next to. So at night they will go inside. At daytime they will come outside. Farmers, most of them are farmers. They use bullocks to plant corn. The husband is plowing, the wife is dropping the seed. So agriculture is both men and women. And then they grow some cauliflowers. We provided some seedlings. We used to support them some training how to grow cauliflower and cabbage. They were new technology those days, 20 years ago. Just 20 years ago, there were shortage of cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, peas. They were not grown by many farmers. Honey. Oh, sorry, coffee. Coffee tree. We used to promote coffee. Although villagers did not drink coffee, but they listened to us. They used to grow some coffee. We organized some women's group. They come and meet. You know, there is a look. This is all pictures. But why was there?
The PowerPoint is not very strong enough. That's the reason.
Anyway, mothers group we were organizing for change. We promoted beekeeping, honeybees. Everybody loved the honey and it doesn't cost much. We used to distribute 10 hives or 20 hives. It was good. It was good. We also supported some farmer to be the beekeeper who can multiply beehives, who can multiply the queens. And if you can have 2 or 3 queens, the same hive can be divided, split. And then that technology we were promoted. But, my friends, these were easy ones. We call in US low-hanging fruit. If you go to an apple orchard, which apple will you pick? The apple at your chest. Right here, you pick. Nobody takes time to go to the top, or nobody likes to bend down. You know, low-hanging fruit is easily accessible to pick. These are the projects very easy to plan and implement. We were doing that. Now, after the water project is done, all these villagers came and had a meeting and they asked me, can we have a good quality high school education? Local high school. You all were educated in very good school or you performed very well. Then your government nominated you, you got the scholarship, fellowship support, you became the masters, PhD graduate, professors, artists, engineers, mechanics, all kind of thing, and you are here. Same thing the villagers were saying to me, Dr. Suvedi, we like to see 100 Dr. Suvedi in 10 years. Can we have a better education? Good school. I could not say no. I said, let us see. We will try. We organized a committee. My request to them is that I will help you. Let us work together. But you have to manage the development, construction, implementation of the project. Should be done by the people themselves. I will find some resource to support the school, but you should implement it well. And my another condition was, you should implement, but at least half of the management committee board should be women. Because my experience working there with the mothers group and others is, women are more accountable, very responsible. They do quality work, given, provided they get the opportunity. And we agreed, there were women and men both in the committee. The challenge, by the way, here was, there was no land. Where do you build a new school? In a mountain, there is not much land left. Farmers will not give their personal land to build a school. I didn't have all the land. The government, we haven't even consulted yet. So what happened is, we raised funds, we started buying land. I personally bought this kind of a terraces to build a school. Does it look? It is a terrace in the hillside, and we started opening the land to build, to construct school buildings. During dry season, this looks like this. No buildings. The villagers were saying, what is this Murari, Suvedi professor doing here? Because it was completely new area. Then I asked the people, look, all the houses on the top of the hillside here, those white dots are the homes of the people. I asked them, collect the rocks. We need more stones, rocks and others, local machinery people and others. So they started breaking rocks for the foundations. Look, we started laying down the foundations. More buildings as they were coming. More buildings. Can you see this from the back? More building constructions. Ready to put the roof. You see building number 1, building number 2. Instead of having a big, huge building, we recommended to make 2 classrooms in each building. Each terrace, 1 building. That way it is good for the ecological balance. If you construct a building like this in that hill, if there is a small earthquake, they will come. So we started constructing a rainwater collection tank. All the roof of the school, you can collect that water and store it here so that the rainwater could go to the toilets down here. We then link the rainwater tank to the toilet so children can wash, So we constructed the classrooms. Look, and the road, this is the highway going to the classrooms. In the hill, you have also the same kind of steps in NAGA. We built very good steps. Children were happy. Children, this is a public school, not private. It is a public school, no religion, no church, no temple, no synagogue, no mosque. Religion is away from education. Okay, we kept the religion away from education. If you notice, boys sit one side, girls sit one side. I don't know how long they will be separated. But the time, maybe today, if you go, maybe the boys and girls are sitting in the same chair also. It is possible. Things are changing. And in the old building, we did not destroy the old building. We did not demolish the old school building. We made the old school building, we converted it as a computer lab and a dormitory. And we did the solar power. I brought some American volunteers, teachers, and everybody were working on wiring and installing the solar panel. This was the first solar panel in rural Nepal, I think, in a school, community school. Maybe solar panels were there in a private home, but not in community schools. And that solar panel will be used for computer lab also. The computer lab were powered by solar panel. My friends, it took a long time for me to construct the school. We finished the school construction, but the area, there was a real need. When we have a meeting like this, if you see how comfortable it is, the university has this meeting hall. In the village, when we have a meeting, community meeting, town hall meeting, we used to sit under the tree if it is too hot, or in a volleyball ground if it is winter. If in case it rains, the meeting adjourns abruptly. So we recognize that this school is enough. Look, the current school. How many buildings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 12 buildings we built. Not one single, but separate buildings. Then we recognize the need for a community hall, community meeting hall. So that year my parents passed away. So in memory of my parents, Yasoda and me, we personally funded the construction of this community hall. I want to construct this community hall strong, good quality, in memory of my parents. So this building was also constructed. Now today, any activity we do, social activity, even if you have a nice wedding you can rent this hall. It is not a church, it is not a temple, it is not a synagogue, it is not a mosque. It is a community education center. So it is there. In the school then, we have the Japanese teachers, professors, US teachers, they come and we start teaching students how to grow flower seeds, how to grow vegetables, how to plant trees, because we need to educate these young people. Young people need the right education. So look, we were showing them how to grow these flower plants, how to plant them in the pots, and they did that. And every classroom they have a small garden, pot garden, flower garden. They use competition. Every year, every class, one class is recognized as a best garden. Then we also teach them how to plant a apple tree, peach tree, pear tree, plum, oranges, how to dig a hole, how to mix the soil and the compost well, how to integrate it, how to plant it. When we were demonstrating here, about 400 students were sitting in the terrace upstairs and watching. How do the Japanese professor plant these trees? What is the actual way? We demonstrated, then their turn to plant. Then the student came and they started planting. Boys and girls, everybody, about 400 students, they planted trees, fruit trees, grape, peach, apricot, and pears. So this is what we call learning by doing, hands-on experience. Did you see? Soon the school looks like a garden. They also had a tunnel to grow vegetable during the rainy season. plastic roof and they plant this tunnel house. And then they grow vegetable. It was a successful example. At the end of the season, again look Nepali culture, they give nice garlands to all the teachers. They call sensei in Japan. Thank you. This is the way to say thank you. This is how we did, my friend. School, community center. Do you think those are needed in Nagaland or not? I don't know. What do you think? Every village has a good quality school now. Elementary school, high school. Do students learn how to grow fruit trees, crops, vegetables?
Not
No?
quality is lacking.
That is lacking.
Quality is very much lacking.
We have schools, but there are no teachers. Teacherless schools are there.
Most teachers are staying in the urban areas and they are reluctant to go to rural areas and teach.
See? So there is a school, but children can play all day. Sometimes. Were you raising your hand? Questions?
I'll later on.
Okay.
I have done some similar works.
Now, the fourth project I will show you. When I was doing all this work, one day I was in the school, there was 6 or 7 women. They came and they asked, where is this Professor Suvedi? So somebody called me, I came up and I was sitting maybe somewhere here. They say, sir, I request you to help women. I said, what is help do you need? You have water supply, you have a school, you have community center. Men and women both can go. Can they? They said, no, it is okay, but we have a special problem. We cannot tell anybody, everybody. But we like to request you, we have a health issue. And they mentioned some problem. I had no idea what that problem was. Next day, I went to Kathmandu. I was on my way to Kathmandu anyway, and I discussed with medical doctors. They were talking about genital prolapse. Have you heard this disease or condition? Have you heard this? Is this there in Nagaland area also?
Lots are there in rural India, not specifically Nagaland or Northeast, but it's there all over India.
All over
in rural
India.
areas, it's there.
See?
In the village.
So they say they have this issue of genital prolapse in women. It is a leading cause of morbidity. Many organizations do all these things, but they don't recognize the issue very well. Mothers, these 6, 7 mothers, they expressed we have this problem. I visited the doctors. They say, okay, let us see. Luckily, the same day, these women came to see the doctor because they had problem. This is the city in Kathmandu. Please excuse me for the graphics. And they were telling me, this is the doctor, he was the health minister of Nepal also. But he is a medical doctor. And they say, we have an issue. This is what the prolapse looks like. Very bad, very bad. You know, the whole uterus comes out. Women become functionless for the men. So the girls, they have so much pain and others, although they are young, they let their husband marry another woman. This is okay, you can marry another. Because she becomes functionless for sexual purpose. And because there is no good hygiene, there is no medical thing, after some years that becomes rotten, it becomes infected, they die. That is the leading cause of morbidity on women. My friend, how many male did you know there was prolapse problem in Indian women or Nepali women? Can you raise your hand? How many of the boys know there is a problem? Maybe you are like me. You don't recognize. I never heard this thing until these women who were courageous came and shared with me. Even the young girls, you don't know what is this prolapse because they keep it as a private thing. They do not disclose this. They do not disclose it. It is kept confidential.
Unfortunately, it's a taboo to talk
Yes.
about women's health. That
Yes.
is the problem.
See, I am glad. I will talk with you a little bit later. We'll need to talk more. So what we did is, what can I do? You know, what I did is, I planned a survey about women's health. How prevalent is this issue? Is it only one or two women isolated issue, or it is a common issue? So we did a survey. I trained 9 women, educated, well-educated women who are credible in the community, who are trustworthy. There are some people like, for example, if you go to Nagaland, you look like a Northeast girl, they may open up and tell you the truth. But if I go and ask, they will not tell. Okay? Even if they have problem, they will not tell. So we train all the anthropological techniques, sociological techniques of getting information, rapport building before interview, conducting interview. We did all train, and they went and asked. The results were that very interesting. We have all age group, with different ethnic group, high, medium, low, all kind of ethnic group distribution. This is the family size, about 5 people in a family. Farming about 75%, or farming 41% can read and write. Look, the gross income in Nepali rupees is $357. 25,000 is 16,000 Indian currency. They are poor. They were poor. Now maybe they have increased some income. Average age at the first pregnancy was 19 years. They become pregnant. Okay. And about 1/4 of them, were pregnant before the age of 18. Before they graduate high school, they are pregnant. So we found many things. Here is a series of questions I asked. Can you read or not from the back? First we asked, do you feel something is coming out of your urinary tract? First question. Do you have stress incontinence? Do you feel pain with urination? Gradually, we ask question, do you have constipation? Do you have a foul smell discharge from the vagina? Then we say something is coming out. We also showed them. There were 7 photos of the prolapse. Starting point, beginning stage, advanced stage, and a very critical stage. Different pictures. And the interviewer will show the photo. Which photo will be similar to yours? And they will touch the photo. That is how the data are collected. Because they don't know how to explain in medical terms. Sometimes they cannot describe it. Sometimes they have a 7-year-old daughter sitting next to her. She doesn't want to tell any word, sexual word or these kind of words, with the family. So there were many cultural barriers. So we did it, we found it. See? This is perfectly about 55%, 52% said they are okay. Many said, don't know, this is outside their, appearance at vulva, at the standing in the second degree. So this is the result based on the survey we did, about 1,000 plus women. Age when the UPV was noticed. Prolapse was noticed before 20 years of age on 14% of the respondents. Look at that. Could you believe when a woman, a girl, she's not yet 20 but she has already prolapse? What do you think her quality of life is? How will she live another 60 years or 70 years? So this was the situation we found out. We asked, when did you notice the symptom of this prolapse? Quite a few say after menopause it started, but look, during pregnancy very little, immediately after the baby, after 1 month to a 1 year time, this thing is showing up. It is not immediately, but after she gives birth to the baby, then within a year it shows up. So we asked them, will your family help the treatment? 1/3 of them say no, they will not. The family doesn't care about this issue because they cannot see. Okay. A family is an extended family, in-laws and others. They don't see the private parts. They don't know the pain. So this was the situation, my friends. Why did not you go see the thing? Number one is more embarrassment. Embarrassment is the number one cause. If this shows up, they blame their fate. They are unlucky. This is God given. So that was the belief. So in summary, when we saw this 1,019 women surveyed, about 20% were living with uterine prolapse, vaginal prolapse problem. 1 every 5 women in Nepal, if you see, they have some problem hiding inside. Although outside they might be smiling, but they are suffering if the findings are correct. Am I right? My question is, how prevalent is this thing in Nagaland or in India, in rural India, or even urban India, or in urban India? Is there a study done? Has any person conducted this research? Maybe they have done, I do not know. But if some of you are interested to conduct this kind of research, let me know. I will give you the questionnaire, survey questionnaire I have developed, and we can discuss further. You can write a grant proposal. You can seek the financial grant or something from the government. Go and do something to help your people. That is the essence of what I was trying to tell today. What can you do to help your people? Okay. Now, it is the survey, the result I did, but what action did we took then? The second phase is we organized a 3-day health camp. I invited the medical doctors and nurses to the community. We traveled by bus to this village. It is a 3-day camp. We did all the campaigning. There is also if you want to see the camp video, you can get this. This is linked in the YouTube. And in the same community center building that I helped build, we had a health camp. This is the checking room for the men and the women and the different diseases. All were set up. And the women started coming. They started coming. The first day, the attendance was little bit low. You know what happened? The announcement said, women's health camp, women's, all these are your problems. Then many husbands said, don't go there. If you go, all the neighbors will notice that you have this problem. We immediately noticed it. The second day we said, no, it is not only the women's health, men's health, eye exam, dental exam, everything.
Very smart.
When that announcement was made, the second day there were 700 plus women coming. Look, if you tell exactly the truth, sometimes there is a taboo. Our culture, they do not, But you have to be careful. I learned that lesson. Look, the lines now. Second day and third day, lines and lines of women on the community center. They came, all kind of tests we did, and by the way, the medical doctors also, when they examined, 1,014 women, 26% were male, because male also came for the dental or eye exam and all those, or other health related things, because we have enough doctors. Sexually transmitted diseases, they call in medical term STD, was most prevailing problem. This is the professional doctor filling out the form. And other problems you can see. Okay? In terms of the ENT diseases, ear infections and this kind of simple thing, skin diseases, we have some. Dental diseases, look, dental caries, gingivitis, they were very common because they do not brush and they don't keep their teeth clean. Those are the problems. We also found out some orthopedic diseases, mainly polyneuropathy or this myopathy. What is myopathy, Shashi?
Something like vision problems.
Vision.
Vision problem.
Other things, there were some headaches, plus some other including mysterious problem, but no. But uterine prolapse was a major problem. So what we did, the third strategy, not only medical camp, we developed a brochure, a colored brochure, printed it, give it to all households, all elementary schools, high schools. What is prolapse? Why? What are the causes of this uterine prolapse? How can you manage it? How can you control it? So we published this book, brochure, and distributed. Still another thing what we did is we requested the Ministry of Education to include one unit in the science, social health or health study curriculum in the middle school curriculum, because 5th and 6th grade kids, that is the right age they need to learn. The girls before menstruation, they should know what is prolapse. Boys also need to understand what is prolapse, so that after 10, 20, 30 years that society will understand and appreciate what the problem is, how it can be managed, how it can be cured. So we integrated that in the curriculum also. I got a lot of help from these doctors and hospitals, and that was the kind of a collaborative work I had with Kathmandu Model Hospital. Women's, Another project started is off-season vegetable. When in the school we have children like her growing chickens, young boys and girls, they come to school, they go into home and say, we have a teachers, Japanese come, American professor come, we have a garden. We have this plant, we planted apple, peaches, plums. The message goes every evening, the farmers were hearing. So they called me one day and they said that, oh, can you help us in off-season vegetable production in Nepal? I said, okay, let us try. We wrote a grant proposal. We got support from Empower Nepal Foundation. I serve as a board member anyway of that foundation. So we started training the farmers about how to make a plastic house, but the condition was again same, partnership. If a farmer wants to make a plastic house, they need to buy the material, bamboo or others, their own material, labor, we don't pay. But I will provide the plastic seed and the seed and seed and training, that we will provide. So look, all the farmers were busy constructing these tunnels, the growing tunnels, and they started growing tomatoes. Tomatoes started fruiting, more fruits. Amazingly, this was so successful. In a period of 4 months, during July, August, September, October, a plot is less than this plot. That is too long. Maybe less than this size plot. 400 to 600 US dollar income from tomatoes in this plot, this size plot only. The families were able to double their income. Household income, they double with this tomato. See? These are all tomatoes. All the sky is tomato. Have you seen these tomato towns? Any person have seen it? You saw it, huh? You planted it? Good. Farmers were very happy. Look, they were very happy. Very happy. Next season, about 93 new farmers wanted to plant this time. So I said, okay. The problem is how many seedlings to bring from the city. Then I started empowering, training the local leader farmer how to grow the nursery, how to raise the nursery. Look, this farmer is raising nursery in his small backyard. Different seedlings, tomatoes, cucumbers, and then onions, garlic. He made his own nursery. So we had local plant production, farmers planted it. Here is a little story. I did not know. All these, in my pictures it shows, but not in this. This white jar, they collect urine. You pee and collect it there, seal it for 28 days. If it is human urine, 28 days you seal it. Then it becomes a beautiful nitrogen fertilizer. Very powerful. If you put 1 spoon directly to the plant will die. It is like alcohol. You know?
Okay.
You need to add 1 cup of this with 3 cups of water, mix it, then only apply. Organic. That is what I learned. But many farmers use cow urine, buffalo urine, they collect it and they apply. That is good. I prefer that. So, the tomatoes is growing, my friend. Here is where they market. They bring to a common place, they collect all the tomatoes in a big basket, and the lady, look, she brought all this basket load of tomatoes to sell. The problem was, on this big heavy basket, tomatoes on the bottom. What happens if I am sleeping here, you all jump over me? I am squeezed. Many tomatoes were broken, punctured. The price was more. See, lose or red, then only they pick. They are very easily squeezed. You know, the big tomatoes and the small tomatoes are not graded. The big tomatoes will press the small tomatoes. There is another method. Lot of post-harvest loss was there. So we need to educate them. We need to create a market, because these tomatoes now are loaded on the top of the bus to go to the city. By the time they reach city, almost half of the tomatoes became useless. Okay? So there was a big issue, but many farmers were making still money out of this tomato business. So marketing, collection and marketing was a problem. So I started constructing a collection center for the cooperative. Farmers Cooperative Collection Center. We funded this project. And this is how the house was constructed one by one, step by step, very strong. I don't want to make a wishy-washy construction, because after 5 years, if the building cripples, no good. So we built a nice house so that farmers can use it for a long, long time. It has 3 rooms. I can see here, but you cannot see there. And the farmers are very happy to use this collection center. And then now this center is used to collect all the tomatoes and other fruits, vegetables. Farmers can also buy their inputs. Records are kept very well, so members get the right remuneration, payment for their produce. Then the local farmers also have a bigger nurseries now. You know, we train them in nursery, we train them in fruits, we diversify their agriculture. So that is the off-season vegetable. Last, we started, they are talking sustainable development, environment work, environment friendly. So we integrated growing ginger, turmeric as cash crop, promoting them. We also promoted the rainwater collection center. We also collected this. These are the rainwater harvest tank. Every house will have a rainwater harvest tank. And then we also collected the livestock urine, a system of collecting the urine so that we can manage it as a better fertilizer. We also provided a lot of training to rural women. It is in the same community center. I conducted the training. I tell, like today, what do you like to do? Women talk freely with me because they now know that I do not hurt them. I help them. Credibility, rapport is very important to build a rapport. And finally, that solar pump was breaking every year, so we started a solar panel to pump the water, to lift the water up. Look who is helping in constructing this thing. 70% are women. They contributed the labor, and the water is flowing from around 6:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. The solar pump continuously operates. There is plenty of water now. Now the question is, after all these 6 projects, I completed, I think, there are a couple mantras, some formulas. What did I learn? Local people are great citizens. They can help themselves, but we have to guide them properly. They are not fool. Okay? Even though they don't have certificates or diploma like we have, but they can learn and change. You have to have a patience. Your efforts should be consistent. Persistence should be there. You can help them. Okay? The second is, farmers in Nepal, they were not used to cooperative marketing. You know, my tomatoes are good. If I mix my good tomato with his poor tomato, I get less price. So every farmer used to carry his basket and go and sell his tomato. 300 farmers have tomatoes now. Where do the 300 people go with their tomato? There was no way. Organizing them into cooperative, keeping accurate records, being transparent in record keeping, giving the payment in a timely manner. Once you do it, local farmers can manage it very well. Even less education, they can keep records. Even though women do not know how to read and write, some of them, they remember how many kilogram tomato they deposited in the pool. So, usually managing a cooperative is a gradual process like other process, but you can try. Development involves change. To be successful in bringing about development, you need to address the felt need of the people. Need the local people will express, this is what I need. Okay? Felt need is important. When that 6 women people, they came and asked me quietly, here is our problem, can you address it? When we organized the health camp, did you see? The participation was enormous. When I say we will have a good quality education to this school, look, participation of the people was strong. So try to work with expressed felt needs. JNU may have some kind of needs. Michigan State may say, oh yeah, this is a need here and there. Ask the local people what your real needs are. Okay? Collaboration is essential. Participation of beneficiaries is essential. If beneficiaries don't participate, what does that mean? They say, don't come to this village with this project, we don't need it. If you still go and build, that building will be a white elephant, nobody will use it. Okay? So, people's participation promotes ownership, local ownership. The schools are maintained very well today. You know, the water system is maintained because there is a local ownership. Same thing is true. And collaboration is essential, not me by myself. Local people, local leaders, non-profit NGOs, organizations, government, district education office. It is a pluralistic approach to do. By the way, working with local leaders is essential, but informal leaders are more important. Okay? Outsiders we can only facilitate, but the local people, local leaders must lead the change. If you want to do anything in Nagaland, you are the critical mass here in Delhi. Your representatives, your ministers, your congressmen will listen to you better than me. Okay? You have to convince them. You have to warn. This is our home, this is our state, this is how we should work. Capacity building takes time. It does not happen in 3 months or 6 months. Be patient. Okay? Don't misuse, because, by the way, resources are limited. Use them appropriately. Respect the local culture. You know? and I collaborated with all these organizations. Here is a just thought, food for thought. You can read yourself. But let me explain. In this world, if there are 100 people, suppose the earth has 100 people, 67% or 67 out of 100 will be non-Christian. Sometimes in America, our people think all are Christians. Because in their village everybody is Christian, but there are non-Christians too. 33 would be without access to safe drinking water. 1/3 still today don't have access to clean drinking water. 24 would not have electricity. And 40, although they have electricity, they use it only for a light at night. No machine, no projector, no generator, Only one would have a college education. How many of us? We are fortunate, we are college graduates, university graduates. See, we belong to the top 1% of the world population. See? If you cannot do something to your community, who will do it? 80 would live in substandard housing, 67% will be unable to read, 33 would be receiving or attempting to live on only 3% of the income of the village. 3% income for 33% population. Lot of inequality exists. 5 people out of 100 would control 32% of the wealth of this world. And all 5 will live in America. This is not what I gathered, this is by David Smith in a book he wrote to educate the common people. So my friends, we are special. You are a special university graduate. You were born and raised in rural area or remote cities and towns. We now live in Delhi. What can we bring back to our community? See, I live about 12,000 miles away from Nepal. I teach, I work all day, but there are evenings, there are mornings, there are weekends. I keep working, thinking if I can help the local people. People who need help. Can you do the same? Can you try to help your people? That is what I was requesting Yanthan. Yanthan, I spent a lot of time. If you have questions, I am here to answer. Thank you.
Now it is open for discussion, questions and comments.